Hello everyone, hope you all are good. So in this video we will be discussing about UPSC Prelims GS paper 2 which is conducted in the year 2016. So in this video I will be going with the complete paper explanations. Okay, let's get into the video. So the first two questions are related to the passage. Okay, accountability or the lack of it in the governance generally and civil services in particular is a major factor underlying the deficiencies in governance and public administration. Designing an effective framework for accountability has been a key element of the reform agenda. Okay, the fundamental issue is whether civil services should be accountable to the political executive of the day or to the society at the large. In other words, how should internal and external accountability be reconciled? So this passage is regarding to the service of the civil services, that they should be accountable to the public or to the politicals. So we certainly know the general issues that few civil services will be somewhat they should be accountable to the society, not to the politicians. And this passage regarding to the administration and framework of the civil services, that how should they work, not for themselves, they should work for the society. And in the second passage, in the middle of the first passage and in the second passage, if you see, there are articles 311 and 312. Okay, that 311 and 312 are they are specifically for the service of UPSC civil services, right? So 311 states that article 311, no government employee can be dismissed, removed or reduced the rank except after inquiry in which there has been informed of the charges against him. Okay, so 311 states that an UPSC aspirant, UPSC serviceman should not be removed, okay, directly. There should be an inquiry, and in that inquiry it should prove that he has been done any wrong thing. Okay, then only this article 11 will be implemented. Okay, then article 312 states that creation of all Indian services, union and state services, recruitment and conditions of service. So this, with the help of this 312 article only, the creation of union and the state services. Okay, if the service, if an IAS officer is required in the union, according to the article 312, they will be recruited to the union service. So if the service, if the person is required, if the UPSC candidate is required for the state, according to the article 312 only, they will be requiring to the state, or if any emergencies, according to the article 312 only, they will be appointing to the UPSC as UPSC civil services who have cracked the civil services. Okay, so with this only this article 311 312 will be specifically designed for the civil services. Okay, now I have gone through this passage, you also give one quick reading, then you will be able to get into the answers. So I will be going with the questions. The first question, according to the passage, which of the following factors led to the adverse consequences for governance, public administrations? Which of the following factor led to the adverse consequences for governance and public administrations? So among the four options, which of the following factors is adverse, close related to the governance and the public administrations? So we will be going with the options: inability of civil services to strike a balance between internal and external accountabilities, lack of sufficient professional training to the officers of all India services, lack of proper services benefits in civil services, lack of constitutional provisions to define the respective role of a professional civil services, vice versa political executives, in this context. So among these four options, which are the following factors consequence the governance advise the governance and public administration? So I hope for this the 1 and 4 are correct, option C, because inability of civil services to strike a balance between internal and external accountabilities, and also lack of constitutional provisions to define the respective role of provisional civil services, vice versa political executives in the context. So these two options will be considered. Okay, so for the question number 1, option C is correct, 1 and 4. Okay, next, with reference to the passage, the following assumption has been made. For the following assumption, okay, political executive is an obstacle to accountability of the civil services in the society. In the present framework of Indian polity, the political executive is no longer accountable to the society. So with this, we will be going with the option 1 only. Political executive is an obstacle to the accountability of civil services to the society. So here the coming to the political executive, the political leader, he will be there only for the tenure of 5 years. But whereas coming to the civil services, they will be for the long tenure, right? So these 5 years political tenures will be ruling the this long term civil services. Okay, so they have to work under them, and it depends upon the officer whom they work. Okay, it depends upon the politician under whom they work. Okay, so and the political executive and the government executives will be no longer time. So the second option is stating that. In the first option, it is saying that it is an obstacle. So with this, we will be going with the option 1 only. So for the question number 2, option A is correct. Okay, next, coming to the question number 3. Which of the following is the essential message implied by this passage? So which of the following is an essential message? What message we are getting it? Okay, civil services are not accountable to the society they are serving. Education and enlightened persons are not taking up the political leadership. The farmers of the constitution did not envisage the problems being encountered by the civil services. There is a need and a scope for reforms to improve the accountability of civil services. So with this, from the what message we can give is D. There is a need and scope for the reforms to improve the accountability of civil services. Okay, so for the question number 3, the answer D is correct. Next, question number 4. According to the passage, which one of the following is not a means of enhancing the internal accountability of civil services? Following is not a means of enhancing the internal accountability of civil services. Okay, option A, better job security and safeguard, supervision by the Central Vigilance Commission, judicial review of executive decisions, seeking accountability through the enhanced participation by people in decision making process. Okay, so all first 3 are the things which are done by the UPSC civil services, right? So they will be having a job security and safeguarding, and Central Vigilance Commission also will be there, judicial review also will be there. So here it is says, fourth option is stating that seeking the accountability through the participation by people. Okay, here this is not happening, so the decision is not here. The question is, fourth option is stating that participation by the people in decision making process, so that is not taking place, right? So according to the passage, not a mean of enhancing the internal accountability, so the people cannot take the decision. So according to the requirements of people, the civil services will be taking the decisions. So for the question number 4, option D is correct. Okay, next question number 5 and 6 are related to the passage. And a passage, in a general, religious tradition stress our duty to God or to some universal ethical principle. Our duty to one another derive from these. The religious concepts of rights is primarily derived from our relationship to the divinity or principle, and the implication it has on our other relationships. These correspondence between the rights and the duties is critical to any further understanding of justice. So this passage is regarding to the it is mainly stressing the religious tradition is our duty to God. So it mainly explains that justice is to be practiced. Okay, justice is to be practiced, and religious is a tradition. So after reading all this passage, I have gone through it, so you also go through it. So the passage mainly states that justice is to be practiced and religious tradition is a tradition, is a religious tradition. Religious is a tradition, and it is a duty to God. Okay, so here it is differentiating that justice is somewhat different to the religion. Religion is to be practiced, is a traditional, and justice is to be practiced. So I will be going with the questions. You also give one reading to the passage. Okay, questions. Fifth question, with reference to the passage, the following assumptions have been made. First one, human relationships are derived from their religious traditions. Human beings can be duty bound only if they believe in God. Religious traditions are essential to practice and undertake justice. So among these options, which are valid, we have to find. So the following valid assumption we can conclude is option A, human relationships are derived from their religion traditions. Yes, right, because human relationships, the family persons or the parents, the religion they are following, the children also will be following that religion only, right? So human relationships are derived from the religion traditions only. So the family which has been following throughout the past that religion only, the following generations also will be following it, right? So this is the valid assumption. So for the question number 5, the option A is correct. And coming to question number 6, which one of the following is the crux of this passage? Which means we can conclude as which of the following is the crux of this passage? Crux means most important thing. Okay, most important point of this passage. Our duty to one another derives from the religion tradition. Having relationship to the divine principle is a great virtue. Balance between rights and duties is crucial to the delivery of justice in a society, and the religious concepts of right is primarily derived from our relationship to God. So The important thing we can conclude as question number 6, answer C is correct. Balance between rights and duties is crucial to the delivery of justice in a society. So this is the most important point. So there should be a balance between the rights and duties to the crucial to the delivery of justice in a society. So there should be a balance between the justice and the religion, which is the religion is a tradition and justice is to be practiced. There should be a balance between them. Question number 7. A ate grapes and pineapple, B ate grapes and oranges, C ate orange, pineapple and apple, D ate grapes, apple and pineapple. After taking fruits, B and C felt sick. So what can be said for the cause of sickness? So here there are A, B, C, D persons. They ate fruits, which means if you look at the solution box, A ate grapes and pineapple, B ate G grapes and oranges, C ate orange, pineapple and apple, D ate grapes, apple and pineapple. So here GP, these alphabets represent as fruits. Okay, so in the question it is giving that B and C fell sick. B and C fell sick. So what is the reason for it? So B ate grapes and oranges, C ate orange, pineapple and apple. So which is the common thing there? Orange. So among the B and C, orange is the common. So we can conclude as it is the sickness. By eating the orange, they got sickness. Okay. So for the question number 7, answer oranges, it is D. Okay, for the question number 7, orange, D is correct. Coming to question number 8. Consider the following statements. The rate of population growth is increasing in the country. The death rate is declining faster in the country comparing to the birth rate. The birth rate is declining faster in the country comparing to the death rate. Rural urban migration is taking place regularly in the country. So which one of the following conclusions may be true in the light of the above facts? So there are 5 options. First one is population growth is increasing, and second one is death rate is declining. Death rate is declining due to the birth rate is increasing. Okay, and third one is birth rate is decreasing due to the comparison of death rate. Okay, the birth rate is declining faster due to the comparison of death rate. So birth rate is declining due to the comparison of death rate. And option 4, rural urban migrations is taking place regularly in the country. So people from villages, they will be migrating to rural and urbans. So what is the reason? What is the main conclusion we can take it from this truth? That is option A, the rate of population growth is increasing due to the rural urban migration. The rate of population growth is increasing due to the decline in the death rate only. The rate of population growth is increasing due to the increasing in the birth rate only. The rate of population growth is increasing due to the faster decline in the death rate than in the birth rate. So first 3 options are somewhat related, but the conclusion which is giving is D. The rate of population growth is increasing due to the faster decline in death rate than in the birth rate. So for the question number 8, the answer D is correct. And coming to the question number 9. The person X was driving in a place where all roads can either north, east or west, forming a grid. Okay, so if you look at the picture on question number solution box at question number 9, there in the middle of the box there are 4 directions, arrow marks, so which indicates north, east and south, north, east and southwest. So from there the person is starting. Okay, from there the person is starting. Roads are at the distance of 1 kilometer from each other in the parallel. So from that adjacent directions, roads are one distance of 1 kilometers. in a parallel. He started at the interaction of two roads. So interaction of two roads means in the middle point. So in the middle of these four direction arrow marks, he is starting in the middle. Okay. He started at the interaction of two roads, drove 3 kilometers to the north. From the interacting points, he is traveling to north, n side, 3 kilometers. Okay, to the north he is traveling 3 sides. If you look at the picture, you can understand. And come back to question. 3 kilometers west and 4 kilometers south. So from north, if you look at the picture, from north he is traveling to the west 3 kilometers, and to the down south he is traveling 4 kilometers. So 1 kilometer extra. So starting from the arrow marks, he is traveling 3 kilometers to the north, and from the north to west 3 kilometers, and from west to south he is traveling 4 kilometers. 1 kilometer extra he is traveling. Okay. Which further route could bring him back to the starting point if the same route is not repeated? So again, he to go to the starting point, to which route will be further, and the route should not be repeated, and the same route which he came now, he should not go in that way, and we have to make out the new route that should drive him to the starting point. So here if you look at the picture, till south 4 kilometers he had been traveled, and again he has to travel 3 kilometers to east, and from east to the adjacent point, he had starting point, he had to travel 1 kilometers. So south to east 3 kilometers from, okay, so south to east he has to travel 3 kilometers, from east to the meeting point he has to travel 1 kilometer. So for this, for the question number 9, option B is correct. 3 kilometers east and 1 kilometer to the north. If we travel 3 kilometers to the east and 1 kilometer to the north, he will be at the starting point, and rest of the options that cannot lead him to the place where he has been started. Okay. So for the question number 9, option B is correct. So coming to the question number 10, consider the following statements. We shall go either for a picnic or for a trekking. The statement is that we shall go either for a picnic or trekking. We will be going for either for picnic or trekking. Okay. So which of the following true would falsely claim this? So which of the following statements could falsely claim this? False, which means opposite or wrong statement should give according to the statements. Now coming to the options, we go for a picnic but not for trekking. Okay. Activities such as picnic and trekking are encouraged by the health authorities. We go for trekking and not for a picnic. We do not go either for a picnic or for trekking. So for the question number 10, we can conclude option D, because we do not go either for picnic or for trekking. We do not go. Option D is we do not go, but in the question it is given that we shall either go. We shall either go. In the statement it is giving that we shall go, and in the option D it is saying that we do not go. So it is quite false, opposite to the statement, right? So for the question number 10, we can conclude as the correct answer is D. For the question number 10, the option is D is correct. Next, question number 11. There are 50 faculty members comprising 30 male and the rest female. So there are 50 faculty members, and in that comprising 30 male and the rest are female. So in that 50, if 30 males are there, the rest 20 females will be there, right? Okay. And no male faculty knew the music, but many of the male faculty members did. Okay. In that, no male faculty is not knowing the music. Okay. The head of the family institution invited 6 faculty members to a tea party by drive of lots. Okay, the head of the institution has invited 6 faculty members. We don't know who among them, either it may be from male or female. At the party it was discovered that no member knew the music. Okay, at the party it was discovered that no member knew the music, which means uh, here men are not knowing the music, and whereas women, they are able to know the music. So from this conclusion we can conclude that the men are at the party, right? Okay, now among this, what conclusion we have to give? Okay, the party comprises male faculty members only. The party comprised only those female faculty members who do not give rendering in music. The party comprised both male and female faculty members. Nothing can be said about the gender composition of the party. Yes, so here for the question number 11 we can conclude as option D is correct, because it was not specifically told that only male should attend the party, but it was stated that the persons who attend for the party, they don't know the music. Okay, so here the principal invited only few members to the party, so he did not specifically mention that those who know the music come to the party. So for this we can conclude as option D is correct. This party is nothing said to be a gender composition of the party. So we can conclude as only male attended the party, only female attended the party. So we cannot conclude that. Okay, but according to the principal talk, he invited only 6 members. So in that, the persons who came, no, they are not able to play the music. So for this, the gender composition should not be there. Okay, so for this we cannot conclude this as a gender problem. So for the question number 11, the option D is correct. Okay, next coming to the question number 12. 5 people A, B, C, D and E are seated about the round table. Okay, if you look at the pictures in the question, round table, 5 people are sitting there. Okay, every chair is spaced equidistant from adjacent side. Okay, the distance between the two chairs is equal. And coming to the statements, C is seated to the next A. The C should be seated to the next of A. Okay, A is seated 2 seats from D. A should be away from 2 seats from the D. Okay, B is not seated next to A, and also in the same way B also should be away from 2 seats from A. Okay, so according to the statements we can write these options as I have drawn the picture in the solution box. We can conclude in that way. Okay, so C should be next to A, and D and B should be seating after 2. Okay, 2 seats from the A. So in that we can write it as in the both terms. So here select the correct answer using the code given below. Okay, 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 3 only, neither 1 or 2. So we can conclude as option B, 1 and 2 is possible, right? 1 and 2 is possible. D is seated next to B and E is seated next to A. So with these statements we can write it as. Okay, next coming to the 13th question. There are 5 hobby clubs in a college. What are they? Photography, etching, chess, electronics and gardening. Okay, there are 5 hobby clubs in a college. Okay, the gardening group meets every second day, the electronic groups meet every third day, the chess group meets every fourth day, the etching group meets every fifth day, and the photography group meets every sixth day. How many times do the 5 groups meet on the same day within 180 days. Okay, so if you look at the solution box, this GECYP represent as a hobbies, and this 2 3 4 5 6 termed as on which day they meet. Okay, so among 180 days, among these 180 days, how many times these 5 groups will be meeting at the same day? Okay, first we have to do an LCM for this 5 days, 2 3 4 5 6. If you do an LCM for this, we get 60, and this 180 divided by 60, we get 3. So finally 3 times they meet a day, 3 times they will be meeting in 180 days. So for the question number D, question number 13, option D is correct. Okay, next question number 14. There are some nectar filled flowers on trees and some bees are hovering on it. Okay, there are some nectar filled flowers on trees and some bees are hovering on it. So you know bees, honey bees, they are on the flowers. Okay, if one bee lands on each flower, one bee will be left out. Okay, we don't know how many bees are there, how many flowers are there. Among that, if one bee is landing on each flower, one bee will be left over. Okay, then if 2 bees are landing on each flower, and 1 flower will be left. Okay, if 1 bee is landing on each flower, 1 bee will be left. If 2 bees are landing on each flower, 1 bee will be left. Okay, so we have to find out how many flowers and how many bees are there. Okay, so next, if you look at the solution box, we don't know bees is equal to x, we don't know how many bees are there. So according to the question, if one bee is landing on each flower, one bee will be left, right? So with this we can conclude as x minus 1. So if each bee is landing on each flower, one bee is left, so x minus 1 we can conclude. So if 2 bees are landing on one flower, one flower will be left. So with this we can conclude as x by 2 plus 1. Okay, so this x by 2 plus 1 is equal to x minus 1. So if we simplify this, we get x is equal to 4. So we conclude as x as a bees, right? So here x equal to 4, so there are 4 bees. And now implement this x is equal to 4 in equation 1, x minus 1, we get 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So there are 3 flowers. Okay, 3 flowers left. So in the question it is given that number of flowers and number of bees respectively. So with this we can conclude as 3 flowers and 4 bees. So for the question number 14, option C is correct. Okay, next coming to the question number 15. Okay, this question number from 15 to 19 are same. Question number 15 to 19 are from the same passage. Question number 15 to 19 are from the passage only. And now coming to the passage, there are 5 persons in a group, P, Q, R, S, T. So P, Q, R, S, T are 5 persons, they are in a group. The group has one doctor, one lawyer and one artist. So among these 5, there is one doctor, lawyer and artist. Okay, P and S are unmarried students. So from this P, Q, R, S, T, P and S are unmarried students. So students they are, okay, and also unmarried. T is a man married to one of the persons in a group member. Q is the brother of P and is neither doctor nor artist. R is not a doctor. So if you look at the solution box, P, Q, R, S, T are there. As the question, P and S are unmarried students and Q is a married man. So T is a married man. So here T and Q are males, because in the question it is given that T is a man married and Q is a brother of P. Q is a brother means, and we can conclude as T and Q are males. Okay, so this P and S are unmarried, right? So we can conclude as T is married to R, because T and Q are males and only R is left. So we can conclude as T is married to R. Next, Q is a brother of P. Q is a brother of P, but he is not a doctor or artist. So we can conclude Q is a brother of P and he is not a doctor and he is also not an artist. So therefore Q will be a lawyer, and we know that R is not a doctor. R is not a doctor. Therefore R will become artist and T will be a doctor. Okay. So from these questions, from all these explanations, now we will be solving the questions. Who is the doctor? Question number 15. Who is the doctor? Doctor is a T. So for the 15th question, option A is correct. Who is an artist? Artist is R. Option C. 17th question. Who is the spouse of R? Okay, spouse of R means that is B, because T is married to R. Next, 18th. Who is a lawyer? A lawyer will be Q, particularly, that is option 18. Question number 18, that is B. And coming to the question number 19. Who is the following is definitely a man? Who is the following is definitely a man? So here T and Q are males, right? So P and S are unmarried students. So definitely Q will be the male. So for the question number 19, Q will be the male according to the passage. So for the question number 19, option C is correct. Next, coming to the question number 20. There is an order of 19,000 quantity of a particular product from a customer. There is an order of 19,000 quantity of a particular product from a customer. So there is an order from the customer, that is 19,000 quantity. The firm products 1,000 quantity of that product per day. Okay, out of which 5% are unfit for the sale. So the order is about 19,000 quantity, and the firm, the organization which is producing the quantity is daily produce 1,000 quantity. Okay, the order is 19,000 and the firm is producing 1,000 quantity per day. Out of this 1,000, 5% are unfit for the sale. Out of this 1,000, 5% are unfit, which means some damage will be there. So if we divide this 5% from 1,000, and we will be getting the exact quantity which is being used. Okay, in how many days will the order be completed? So in order to make a quantity of 90,000 quantity, how many days it takes? So every day the firm is producing 1,000 quantity, right? In that 5% are not a good ones. So divide, separate this 5% from the 1,000. We get what is the 5% of 1,000? That is 50, right? 50% means 500. 10% means 100. And what is the 5%? Obviously 50. So 5% of 1,000 is 50. So 1,000 minus 50, we get a 950. So if we divide 19,000 by 950, we get 20. So in 20 days the order will be done in order to produce the quantity of 19,000. Okay, so for the question number 20, the answer is C. Next, coming to the question number 21, 22. Okay, these 21, 22 questions are from the passage, right? Okay, we'll be going with the passage. Biomass as a fuel for power, heat, and transport has the highest mitigation potential of all renewable sources. It comes from agriculture and forest residues as well as from energy crops. Okay, so this passage is about the biomass means definitely it is nothing but the biomass where it is coming from the dead plants and animal materials which is suitable for using for the as a fuel. Okay, this biomass is made as a fuel which is taken from the dead plants and animal materials from the wastage we collect. Okay, and that can be used for the generating energy. We know that few of the vehicles will be driving with the biogas only, right? And here they are used for the highest mitigation. So mitigation means the activity reducing the it is reducing the seriousness of something. Okay, so this biogas is helping to reduce the mostly atmospheric problems. Okay, so this will be helping in the mitigation, right? So among these how many are being used, how much how much percentage it is being used, and how much it is going to be used by 2020, that is regarding the passage. Okay, so I have gone through this passage, and you also give one quick reading, and I will be going with the questions. Coming to the question number 21, what is the present constraint in using the biomass as a fuel for power generation? Okay, what is a constraint? Which means constraint means nothing but restriction. What is a restriction? That is used using of biomass fuel for the power generation. Why it is restricted? Lack of we will be going with the options. Lack of sustainable supply of biomass production competes with food production, bioenergy may not always be low carbon on a life cycle bias. So with this we can go with the options D, because all the three are correct only. Lack of sustainable supply of biomass productions compete with the food production, bioenergy may not always be low carbon in the life cycle bias. So these three are also being used which comes from the biogases. Okay, so with these three options we can conclude as it is making the restrictions on particular things. Okay, not though it has been helping all the terms, but it also become as the what we call, it also become as a competent to other product also. So it will be a competent to other product also. So from all these things we can conclude these three options are correct for the question number 21. So for the question number 21, option D is correct. Next, coming to the question number 22, which one of the following can lead to food security problem? So which is the reason for the food security problem? Using agriculture and forest residues as a feedstock for power generation, using biomass for the carbon capture and storage, promoting the cultivation of energy crops. So for this food security problem is caused only by the option 2, using biomass for carbon captures and storage. Okay, using this biomass for the carbon capture and storage, that leads to the food security problems. So for the question number 22, option B. Coming to the question number 22, which of the following can lead to the food security problem? food security problem. So which of the following can lead to the food security problem? Using the agriculture and forest residues as a feedstock for power generating, using the biomass for carbon capture and storage, promoting and cultivating the cultivation of energy crops. So for this, the food security problems can lead with the option 3, because promoting the cultivation of energy crops leads to the food security problem. So for the question number 22, option B is correct, because it shows only option statement 3. So the food security problem is lead by promoting the cultivation of energy crops. So for the question number 22, the answer B is correct. Next, coming to the question number 23. In the context of using biomass, which of the following are the characteristics of the sustainable productions of biofuel? Biomass as a fuel for power generations could meet all the primary energy requirements of the world by 2050. Biomass as a fuel for power generations does not necessarily disrupt food and forest resources. Biomass as a fuel for power generating could help in achieving negative emissions given certain nascent technologies. So for the question number 23, we can conclude option C is correct, because 2 and 3 are somewhat okay. They shows the correct explanation for the question number 23. So for the question number 23, option C, which means second and third statements are correct. Okay. Next, coming to question number 24. With reference to the passage, following assumptions have been made. Assumption: some climate energy models suggest that the use of biomass as a fuel for power generating helps in mitigation greenhouse gases emission. It is not possible to use biomass as a fuel as a power generation without disrupting the food and forest resources. So with this, we can only conclude as one only. Some climatic energy models suggest that use of biomass as a fuel for power generation helps in the mitigation of greenhouse gases and emission. Okay, so for the question number 24, option A, one only, A is correct. Okay, so you also give an reading with the passage, then you can also able to find out that these are the options that are somewhat related to the questions. Okay, next, coming to the next passage, question number 25. We are witnessing the dangerous dwelling of biodiversity in our food supply. The green revolution is a mixed blessing. Over time, farmers have come to rely heavily on a broadly adapted high yield cropping to the exclusion of varieties adaptation to the local conditions. So here it is the passage is regarding to the problems that are being caused to the biodiversity by the process of dwelling. Dwelling means making the agriculture in a smaller size. Okay, with this the biodiversity problems will be there. Okay, if the agriculture is not being that much or making the land into the small size, which means by deforestation, everything, by deforestation the biodiversity problems also will occur. So it is the witnessing the danger. So the forest land is being decreased, and that leads to the biodiversity and also food supply. Okay, and here in the option it is in the question it is given that monocropping also. Monocrop means it is a agriculture practice growing a single crop on same land. So on the same land only
single crop if it is being done also, that also leads to the problem, because by cultivating the same crop on the same land, uh, the fertilizers what we use, that will be affecting the body. So we have to change, and also change the crops also. With that, uh, the land which is absorbing the fertilizers by using one crop, that man also, with that, by using the good fertilizers to the other crops, that also will be affecting the land, as well as by using the good products only, the agriculture products also will be growing in a good form. So this will be leads to the food shortage, and also biodiversity problems will be occurred. So by reading this passage, that is the thing I have been grabbed, and you also give a quick reading, and I will be going with the question. Which among the following is the most logical and critical interface that can be made from the above passage? That is, in our agriculture practices, we have become heavily dependent on the expensive chemicals, fertilizers, and toxic pesticides only due to the green revolution. Monocropping vast fields with high yield varieties is possible due to the green revolution. Monocropping vast high yield varieties is the only way to ensure the food security to millions. Green revolution can pose a threat to biodiversity in a food supply and food security in a long run. So this so for the question number 25, option D is correct. So green revolution can pose a threat to biodiversity. So this green revolution means deforestation, and also making the land in a small, which cutting of the trees, and also while in agriculture using a lot of pesticides, and also cultivating the same crop on the same land for the long term, that all leads to the problems. So for the question number 25, we can conclude as option D is correct. Okay, next. A class starts at 11 a.m. and lasts till 2:27 p.m. 4 periods of equal duration are held during this interval. After every period, the rest of 5 minutes is given to the students. The exact duration of each period is, okay. So in a class, the class will be starting at 11 o'clock to 2:27 p.m. Okay, and it consists of 4 periods, and intervals also will be given, and that time period is 5 minutes. So now we have to calculate what is the duration of the period. Okay, each period. Now if you look at the solution box, uh, the total class time is 11 o'clock to 2:27, right? So if we calculate that 11 o'clock to 2:27, if we term into minutes, it is 207 minutes. So this 207 minutes is equal to 4x. 4x means 4 periods. That 4 periods, x indicates the duration of the period, okay, plus 3 into 5. So for 4 periods, only 3 intervals will be given, and 3 intervals, and that 3 intervals is that is the duration of 5 minutes. So with this, the equation is formed, and we have to simplify this. 207 is equal to 4x plus 3 into 5. Now if we find the x value, that is the duration of the period. So if we simplify this, we get 207 is equal to 4x plus 3 into 5, that is 4x is equal to 207 minus 15, we get x is equal to 192 by 4, and if we simplify, we get 48 minutes. So for the question number 26, the answer is A, 48. Next, coming to the 27th question. 4 friends A, B, C, and D need to cross the bridge. A minimum of 2 persons can cross at a time. It is night and they just have one lamp. Persons that cross the bridge must carry the lamp to find the way. A pair must walk together at the speed of a slow person. After crossing the bridge, the person having fastest speed in the pair will return with the lamp each time to accompany another person in the group. So here the question is saying that there are four persons A, B, C, D. So they must to cross the bridge, and they are having only uh, in the bridge only two persons can walk, and one has to go and drop another person and come. Okay, so because they are having only one light, one lamp, so two has to go and should drop their one person, and again with the lamp, again one has to come, and again he have to take another person. Okay, come back to question. Finally, the lamp has to return at the original place, and the same persons who return the lamp has to cross the bridge again without lamp. So after dropping all these three persons, again that person has to come back. Again, he has to uh, hand over the lamp this side, and he has to go without the lamp again. Okay. To cross the bridge, the time taken by them is A 1 minute, B 2 minutes, C 3 minutes, C 7 minutes, and D 10 minutes. So, what is the minimum time required by the friends to cross the bridge? So, now if you look at the solution box, since A is having 1 minute, we can consider him as he is the fastest person who is dropping other persons as well as and also coming back with the lamp. So, since A is faster, first AB he will be going right. So AB, B is going in 2 minutes. So A also will be going with him. So AB is 2 minutes, and again A will be returning back within 1 minute. Again A with C is 7 minutes. So AC will be going for the 7 minutes, and again A will be returning back with the 1 minute. And AD is the D is the slow walker. So AD will be going with again for the 10 minutes, and A will be coming back, and again he will hand over the lamp, and again A also will be going back with the 1 minute. So finally we have to add all these 2 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1. So all this if we simply add, we get 23 minutes. So the minimum time to cross the bridge of the required friends, the minimum time they are taking is 23 minutes. Okay, next 28 question. 30 grams of sugar was mixed in a 180 ml of water in a vessel A. 40 grams of sugar was mixed in 280 ml of water in vessel B. 20 gram of sugar was mixed in a 100 ml of water in a vessel C. The solution in vessel B is, okay, here the question is they're having water and the quantity of sugar. Okay, sugar and they are mixed, not equally mixed. In each vessel, they are mixed with different quantities and different ml of water. So now the question is asking that the solution in vessel B, comparing to all the three vessels, the vessel B is we have to find it is sweeter or it is less sweeter. So if you look at the solution box for the question number 28, A vessel is 30 grams of sugar into 180 ml of water. So 30 by 180 we get 1.6. And the same thing B also, 480 by 280 1 by 7, 20 by 100 we get 1 by 5. So here if we arrange them, 1 by 5 is first will be taking place, and 1 by 6 and 1 by 7 is the last. Okay, 1 by 5 is having more sweeter, so 1 by 6 is it is sweeter than 1 by 7. So here the solution what we are getting is 1 by 7, that is a B vessel. So comparing to this, the solution B is less sweeter than C. Okay, next In a aid of charity, every student in a class contributes as many rupees as number of students in the class. Okay. With the rational contribution of rupees 2 by one student only, the total collection is 443. Then how many students are there in a class? Okay. So the question is saying that there is a in a class there are particular students and they are providing a charity. Okay, which means giving some amount. So we don't know how many students are there, and in that one student he is giving additional of 2 rupees. Okay, if that person, that boy, if that student is giving extra 2 rupees comparing to with all other students, and the total collection is 443. So with this we have to find out how many students are there. Okay, so let us calculate this as if you look at the solution box, x into x plus 2, because we don't know x, which means this x indicates the students. Since we don't know, we termed it as x into that at particular student he has given 2 rupees, right? So x plus 2, the total is equal to 443. So if we simplify this, we get x square plus 2 is equal to 443. So x square is equal to 441. So this 441 is termed as 21 square. Okay. So x is equal to 21. So finally, for the question number 29, the answer is B, 21. So in the class there are 21 students are there. Okay. Next, coming to the question number 30. Anita's mathematics test had 70 problems, carrying the equal marks either 10 arithmetic, 30 algebra, and 30 geometry. Okay, so there is a student named Anita. She is giving the test, math test, and the test is 70 problems. Okay, and in the test, 70 10 arithmetic, 30 algebra, and 30 geometry. And okay, although she answered 70% of arithmetic, 40% of the algebra, and 60% of the geometry problems, she did not pass the test. She got less than 60 percentage. If you look at the solution box, total problems there are 70. So 10 arithmetic, in 10 arithmetic questions she attempted 70%, right? So in the 10, 70% is equal to 7. Okay. Uh, in 10 questions she attempted only 70%, which means 7 questions she attempted. Okay. And in 30 questions she attempted only 40 percentage. That means 12 questions only she attempted. And 30 geometry questions, she attempted only 60%, which means she attempted only 18 questions. So this we can calculate as 10 into 10 into 70 by 100. If we calculate, we get 7. 30 into 40 by 100. If we calculate, we get a 12. 30 into 60. Simply that percentage I have termed it as 70 by 100. Okay. So 40 is equal to 40 by 100. Okay. So finally she attempted 7 plus 12 plus 8. 37 questions she attempted. Okay. So among these 70 questions, from the 70 questions, I have calculated the 60%. 70 into 60 by 100, we get 42. So she has to attempt 42 questions to get 60 percentage of marks among the test. But she attempted only 37 questions. So she has to attempt 42 questions to get 60 percentage of marks. But she attempted only 37 questions, which is 7 plus 12 plus 18, 37. So minus this 42 and 42 minus 37, we get 5. So again, she has to attempt 5 questions to get 60 percentage of pass percentage. So if I is B. For the question number 30, option B is correct. Okay. Next. In a class, there are 18 very tall boys. If these constitutes 3/4 of the boys, And the total number of boys in two-thirds of total number of students in the class. What is the number of girls in the class? Okay. So in a class there are 18 tall boys. So these 18 tall boys are three-fourth of from the boys, three-fourth of among all the boys. And the total number of boys is two-thirds of the total number of students, and the boys are two-third, two-third among the class. Okay. Uh, and what is the number of girls in the class? So they have given in a fractional way. We have to find out exact number. Okay. So look at the solution box. Here we don't know the students. Let the number of students be x. Okay. Total boys two-third, 2 by 3 into x. And number of tall boys, they are 18. So these 18 tall boys are termed as three-fourth. Okay, three-fourth. And with this we can form an equation 3 by 4th into 2 by 3 into x. That is equal to 18. So if we simplify, we get x is equal to 36. So totally there are 36 students. So what is the number of boys? Two-third, right? Two-third into 36. If we simplify, we get 24. So boys are 24. Subtract this 36 minus 24, we get a 12. So number of girls, here in the question it is asking how many number of girls. So 36 minus 24, we get a 12. That is option B. So girls 12. So question number 31, the option B is correct. Okay, next. 32nd. Consider the following statement. Either A and B are of the same age. A is older than B. Either C and D are of the same age. D is older than C. B is older than C. Okay. So which of the following conclusion can be drawn from the above statements? Okay. If you look at the solution box, in the statement 1 it is said that AB is same and A is older than B. CD is same, D is older than C, and B is older than C. Okay. With this we can conclude A is older than B, B and D are of the same age, D is older than C, and A is older than C. So we can conclude A is older than C. Okay, from among all these statements, we can conclude that A is the uh, A is the older than rest of the members. Okay, A is older than C. We can consider it. Okay, because A and C are that those statements are in the statements. Those conclusions are in the statements, but in the statement it is giving that or same age also. So with this, so we cannot conclude these two. So we can only term as D is the correct one. A is older than C. Okay. Next, the monthly average salary paid to an employee of the company was 5,000. Okay. The monthly average salary paid to a male and female employee was male 5,200 and a female 4,200 respectively. Then the percentage of the male employees in the company is. So if you look at the solution box, the number of employees is equal to 100. We don't know exactly how many are there, but we are assuming it, okay, as 100. So monthly average salary is 5,000, right? So 5,000 into 100, we get 5 lakhs. Okay, so we are calculating the average salary of that entire employees, which we have assumed. So we don't know the male number of male is equal to x, and the number of female is equal to 100 minus x. Okay, so if we simplify, so with this we can form an equation 5200 into 200x plus 1200 into 100 minus x is equal to 5 lakhs. This 5,000 and 4,000, 5,200 and 4,200 are the average salaries paid for the male and female, right? So we have assumed male has x and female has 100 minus x. So if we simplify, 1000x is equal to 80,000. So if we simplify x, we get x is equal to 80. Okay, x is equal to 80. So for the question number 33, the option is, so for the question number 33, the option B, 80%. Okay, next coming to the 34, 35, 36 questions. So these questions are related to the passage. Okay, first we will be going to the passage. 6 boxes A, B, C, D, E and F have been painted with 6 different colors that are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow and orange, and arranged from left to right. Not necessarily either kept or painted with the colors in the same order. Okay, so there are 6 boxes and they are painted with the 6 different colors, and according to the question, it is not the order. Okay, each box contains a ball of any one of the following 6 games: cricket, hockey, tennis, golf, football and volleyball. Not necessarily in the same order. So these are also not placed in the same order. The golf ball is in violet box and it is not in the box D. The golf ball is in violet box and is not in a box D. The box A, which contains the tennis ball, is in orange color and it is in the extreme right. Okay, so according to the statements, I have written all these statements in a correct order way in the solution box. Okay, now the box A, which contains a tennis ball, is in orange, is orange in color and it is at the extreme right. The hockey ball is in neither the box D or E. Okay, the hockey ball is not in the D or E. The box C having cricket ball is painted green. Okay, so if you look at the solution box, the C is a green color box and it is having cricket ball. The hockey ball is neither in the box painted blue or in the box painted yellow. So the hockey ball is not in the blue box or yellow box. The box C is the fifth from the right and next to the box B. Okay, if you look at the solution box, the box C is in the fifth place from right. Okay, the box B contains volleyball. Okay, the box containing the hockey ball is between the boxes containing golf ball and volleyball. So this passage is here, main effort is to confuse us. So after each statement, each clue I have written in a proper way in the solution box. So after reading each statements, if you look at the solution box, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, now I will be going with the questions. 34. Which of the following box contains the golf ball? Here the golf ball which is having, that is B, E. Okay, violet box, violet color box, that is E. 34th, option B. Which of the following sentence is or are correct? D is painted yellow, F is painted indigo, B is painted blue, all of the above. So for the question number 35, option B is correct because F is painted indigo. Okay, next, here in the question it is in the statement is given that B and D are either yellow or blue. So we cannot confirmly did not give the information that the box B and D are in a particular color. It may be yellow or blue, and this may be yellow or blue. So which is exactly in which color, we don't know. So from the above statements, we can conclude as, for the question number 35, option B is correct. F is painted as indigo. Next to 36. The football is in the box of which color? Football is in the box of which color? So actually the football is in the D box, and we don't know that the D is either it is yellow or blue. So we can conclude as cannot be determined as the data is inadequate. Okay. So for the question number 36, the option C is correct. Okay. Next. Question number 37. Two numbers x and y are respectively 20% and 80% less than the third number z. Okay. X is 20% less and y is 28% less to third person z. So by what percentage is the number y less than number x? So if you look at the solution box, let us assume z is 100%. Okay. So x is 20% less than z. If we simplify, we get 80. So x is 80 and y is 28% less, right? So if we simplify, we get y is 72. So from the question it is given that by what percentage is the number y is less than x? Y is less than x. By what percentage? So for this we can conclude as x minus y by x into 100. If we simplify with this equation, we get 80 minus 72 by 80 into 100. So 80 minus 72, 8. So 8 by 80 into 100. So if we simplify, we get 10%. So by what percentage y is less than x? That is 10% less. So for the question number 37, the option B is correct. Okay. Next, question number 38. A daily train is to be introduced between station A and station B, starting from each end at 6 a.m. and the journey is to be completed in 42 hours. What is the number of train needed in order to maintain the shuttle service? So here in the question it is given the shuttle service. Shuttle means daily service. Okay. There are two stations, station A and station B, and from each station the train has to move at 6 a.m. Okay. Since shuttle service means starting from each end, from station A and station B, the train has to start at 6 a.m. Okay. And while the trains are starting at two stations at 6 a.m. and reaching to another stations, it takes 42 hours. 42 hours means it is approximately 1.5 day. 24 hours is 1 day and extra 18 hours. 24 plus 18, it is 42, and more than 1.5 day it is taking. So the train journey is completely 1.5 day, and it is a shuttle service every day at 6 a.m. It has to start at both stations. So if each station should be for each station it has to be 2 trains approximately. So each station 2 trains, that is 4 trains. So if there are 4 trains, they can run the shuttle services. So the journey is 42 hours, but the service should be every day. So if there are 4 trains only, approximately the shuttle service can be able to run. So for the question number 38, the option C is correct. Next, 39. A piece of tin is in the form of rectangle having length 12 centimeters and width 8 centimeters. This is used to construct a closed cube. The side of a cube is, okay.
Here a piece of tin is in the form of rectangle. So a piece of tin, look at the solution box, that is 12 centimeters length and width is 8 centimeters. Okay, so with this piece of tin a closed cube should be constructed. So rectangle length and breadth will be different. So whereas coming to cube, for cube each side it should be same. We have to compress. So cube will be having 6 faces and we don't know what is the side of the cube. Okay, area of the cube. So here the cube it is having, okay, this a piece of tin which is in the rectangle form, it should be compressed and it has to be made into the cube. So here this rectangle is constructed into the cube, whereas coming to cube will be having 6 faces and each face is at each face 6 sides are equal. So here 6a square is equal to 12 into 8, because this rectangle piece of tin is compressed for the cube. Okay, so the total surface area of the cube formula is 6 into sides square. So we don't know the sides, how much side, so we term it as a. So 6a square is equal to 12 into 8 centimeters. So with this, if we simplify, we get a square is equal to 16 centimeters square and a is 4 centimeters. So each side of the cube is 4 centimeters. Okay, so for the question number 39, option C is correct. Next, coming to question number 40. In a question paper there are 5 questions to be attempted and answer to each question has 2 choices, true or false. It is given that no 2 candidates have given the answer to the 5 questions is in a identical sequence. For this to happen, the maximum number of candidates is. So there is a question paper, there are 5 questions in it, and that is a answer is in choice wise, true and false. So in that, no 2 candidates has given the identical, no 2 candidates has given same answers for 5 questions. Okay, if one is giving true, other one is giving false for 5 questions. So no identical sequences has been followed. So in how many ways these answers can be written? Okay, that is a question. So here if you look at the solution box, 5 questions, 2 options, and 2 candidates, no 2 candidates have given the identical sequences. So that is 2 power 5. 2 power 5, if we calculate, we will be getting the answer. 2 power 5, we have to multiply 2 for the 5 times. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 for 5 times, we get 32. So the answers for the 5 questions can be answered in 32 ways without getting the identical sequences. Okay, so for the question number 40, the option is 32. Next, coming to the passage. So for the question number 41, it is related to the passage. Okay, by killing the transparency and competition, crony capitalism is harmful to the free enterprises, opportunity and economic growth. Crony capitalism, where rich and influential are alleged to have received land and natural resources and various licenses in return of payoffs to venal politicians, is now a major issue to be tackled. So this passage is related to the crony capitalism. Here crony capitalism means that is a relation which is made between the politicians and the businessman.
So in an administration or in a country, politicians will be ruling, and if the politicians are having good relationship with the business leaders, uh, it terms that they will be taking care of their own advantages, okay, not thinking much about the country's growth, okay, because these businessmen will be uh, giving money to the politicians, and politicians will be supporting them to start their business in their country. So here this passage terms that by this crony capitalism, it is a benefit only for the politicians and the businessmen, not for the country, okay. And this is the meaning of the passage, and now we'll be going with the questions. Which among the following is the most logical corollary of the above passage? Logical conclusion, okay. Launching more welfare schemes and allocating more finances for the current schemes are urgently needed. Effort should be made to push the economic growth by other means and provide license to the poor. Greater transparency in the functioning of the government and promoting in the financial inclusion are needed at present. We should concentrate more on developing manufacturing sector than service sector. So the most conclusion we can give is option C. Greater transparency in functioning of government and promoting the financial institutions are needed at present. Okay. So for the question number 41, option C is correct. Next, 42nd question, that is related to passage. Climate adaptation may be rendered ineffective if policies are not designed in the context of other development concern. For instance, comprehensive strategy that seeks to improve food security in context of climate change may include a set of coordinated measures related to the agriculture extension, crop diversification, integrated water and pest management, and agriculture information service. Some of these measures may have to do with the climate changes and others with economic development. So here this passage is completely related to the climate adaptation, and the policies must be designed, okay. And here due to the climate change, there should be few more precautionary steps that should be taken in order to safeguard the agriculture, crop diversification, and also safeguarding the water, everything. So that all will be coming under by taking the decisions according to the climate changes, okay. So coming to the question number 42, what is the most logical and rational interference that can be made? So these are something we have to draw a conclusion for this passage. So options: it is difficult to pursue climate adaptation in the developing countries. Improve food security is a far more complex issue than climate adaptation. Every developmental activity is directly or indirectly linked to the climate adaptation. Climate adaptation should be examined in a tandem with other economic development options. So with this we can go with the option D only, because climate adaptation, okay, the main concept is how to make the decisions according to the climate. So according to the climate only we have to take the decisions. So climate adaptation should be examined in time and termed in the other economic development options, okay. So for the question number 42, option D is correct. Next, passage 3, understanding the role of biodiversity in the hydrological cycle enables better policy making. Okay, the term biodiversity refers to a variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms and the ecosystem in which they occur. Water and the biodiversities are interdependent. In turns, vegetation and soil drive the movement of water. Every glass of water we drink has at least part of passed through fish, trees, bacteria, soil, and other organisms. So, the water which we are drinking, that has been least part passing through the seas, trees, bacteria, soils, and other organisms. Passing through this ecosystem is cleansed and made fit for the consumption. So, the supply of water is a critical service that environment provides. Okay, so the water we are using, that is been traveling from different places, and it is reaching to us. So for this passage, which among the following is the most critical interface that can be made from the passage? Which means again conclusion, good conclusion, what we had to do. Biodiversity sustains the ability of nature to recycle water. We cannot get potable water without the existence of living organism. Plants, animals, and microorganisms continuously interact among themselves. Living organisms could not have come into existence without hydrological cycle. So for the question number 43, we can conclude as A. Biodiversity sustains the ability of nature to recycle water. Okay. Next, coming to the passage 4. In the last decade, the banking sector has been restructured with a high degree of automation and products that mainly serve middle class and upper middle class society. Today, there is a need for a new agenda for the banking and non-banking financial services that does not exclude the common man. Here, automation means that is using of machines and computers. Okay, the banking sector is using the automation, means electronic things instead of human beings. Okay, without the need of human, the bank is using the services automation. So now this is the thing that we can understand. Okay, the banking sector is involving the automation, okay, to provide the good service to the middle class and upper class. Okay, so without the work of humans, instead of human beings, they are involving the automation, automatic machines, right, computers like that. So which one of the following is the passage that is essentially implied in the above passage? Need for more automation and more products of banks. Need for radical restructuring of our entire public finance system. Need to integrate banking and non-banking institutions. Need to promote financial inclusion. So with this we can conclude D is correct. Need to promote the financial inclusion. Okay, next, passage 5. Safe and sustainable sanitation in slum has immeasurable efforts benefits to women and girls in terms of their health, safety, privacy, and dignity. However, women do not feature is most of the schemes and policies on urban sanitization. The fact that even now the manual scavenging exists. The fact that even now the manual scavenging exists only goes to show that not enough has been done to promote our flush toilets and discontinued use of dry latrines. Okay, the more sustained and the righteous campaign need to be launched. Okay, so this passage is about the mainly for the women and girls safety. Okay, since in many of the places, in not developed places, these women, they will be throwing all these their waste in the public places. Okay, so in order to have, since they are not having good toilet system and so on, they will be uh, they will be using the surroundings. So they will be, since they are not using the good toilet system, with this uh, it has been a problem for them, as well as they are polluting the environment. So with this is regarding this passage, and with reference to the above passage, consider the following statement: urban sanitation problems can be fully solved by abolition of manual scavenging only. There is need to promote greater awareness of safe sanitation practice in the urban areas. So for the question number 45, we can conclude as B, both 1 and only 2. So for the question number 45, the answer is B, 2 only. There is need to promote a greater awareness on safe sanitation practice in urban areas. Okay. Next, question number 46. To understand the nature and the quantity of government proper of a man, it is necessary to attend his character. Okay. To understand the nature of quantity of government proper for a man, it is necessary to attend his character. Okay, next, coming to the next passage. To understand the nature and the quantity of government proper for man, it is necessary to attend his character. As nature created him for a social life, she fitted him for the station she intended. In all cases, she made his natural wants greater than his individual powers. Okay. No one man is capable, without the aid of society, of supplying his own wants and those of wants acting upon every individualism. So this is a question regarding to the behavior of every individual. Okay. So how they have to lead a social life, how they have been should adapt all these society society thoughts, and how they should act and how they should be effective to live in this society. Okay. So with this we can go to the questions. Which one of the following is the most logical and rational interface that we've made? Okay. Nature has created a great diversity in human society. Any given human society is always a short of its want. Social life is specific character of man. Diverse nature wants forced man towards the social system. Okay, so for the question number 46, the rational interface is D. Diverse natural wants forced man towards the social system. Okay, and next, coming to the passage 7. The nature of legal imperative is any given state correspond to the effective demands that the states encounter, and that these in this turn depend in a general way upon a manner in which the economic power is distributed in the society with the state controls. Okay, so these also regard to the behavior and also manners and uh, coming to the next passage. The nature of legal imperative in any given state correspond to the effective demands that the state encounters, and that these in their turn depends in a general way upon a manner in which economic power is distributed in the society with the state control. Okay, so this passage is regarding to the uh, So the statement refers to so the above passage that is referred to the antithesis of politics and economics, the interrelationship of politics and economics, the predominance of economics over politicians, the predominance of political over economics. So this passage is related to B, the interrelationship of politics and economics. So for the question number 47, the option B is correct. Okay, next question number 48. So this question number 48 is related to passage only. Okay, so about 50% of global greenhouse gas emission come from agriculture practice. This includes nitrous oxide from fertilizers, methane from livestock, rice production and manure storage, and carbon dioxide from burning biomass. But this excludes CO2 emission from the soil management practice, Sahana burning and deforestation. Forestry land use and land use change account for another 17% of the greenhouse gas emission each year. So this passage is related to the greenhouse gases. You know the greenhouse gases that are water vapor, CO2 and nitrous oxide. So with this tropical wetlands, okay, which means wetlands, whatever the wetlands, they are been polluting, it seems. Okay, with all these gases whatever been in the atmosphere, the wetlands material and the waterlogging places are being drained and are also they are been polluted with these gases. Okay, that is information they are getting from the passage, and we will be going with the questions now. Which among the following is the most logical and rational inference that can be made from the above passage? Organic farming using immediately replaced mechanized and chemical dependent agriculture practice all over the world, and it is imperative for us to modify our land use practice in order to mitigate climate change, and there are no technological solutions to the problems of greenhouse gas emission. Tropical areas are the chief sites of carbon sequestration. Okay, so for the most logical thing we can go with this option B. It is imperative for us to modify our land use practices in order to mitigate climate change. So because the land now, whenever in order to put a crops, they are using lot of fertilizers. Okay, and with that fertilizers the land pollution has been taking place, and also the wetlands are also been polluted, and they also release some harmful gases and harmful air, so CO2. So that is also been affecting, so certain precautions has been taking. So from this passage we can go with the option B. So for the question number 48, the answer is B. Next, 49. A person climbs a hill in a straight path from a point 0 on the ground in the direction of northeast and reach point A. Okay, if you look at the picture, the person is moving towards northeast, that indicates as point A from the point 0, okay, O. Okay, after traveling a distance of 5 kilometers. Okay, the A is been traveling from O point to A, that is 5 kilometers. Next, then from point A he moves to the point B in the direction of northwest. So from point A to point B to the northwest he is moving there. Okay, if you look at the picture you can able to understand. From the point A to point B he is moving for 12 kilometers. let the distance of AB be 12 kilometers. Now how far is the person away from the starting point to O? So from B, how far is the person is away from, that we have to find out. So he is traveling to northeast, and from northeast A to northwest B, and from B to O he has to travel. So what is the distance it is asking? So that is simple thing. We can go with the Pythagoras theorem. OB square is equal to OA square plus AB square. So we know that OA square is 5 square and AB square is 12 square. Okay, with this we get 169. So OB square is equal to 169. 13 square is 169. So the distance of OB is 13 kilometers. So for the question number 49, the answer is B. Next, question number 50. An agriculture field is in the form of a rectangle having length x1 meters and breadth x2 meters. So there is an agriculture field that is in the form of rectangle, length is x1 and breadth is x2. Okay, x1 and x2 are variables. Okay, we don't know exact values, they are variables. If x1 plus x2 is equal to 40 meters, then the area of the agriculture field will not exceed which one of the following value. So if x1 plus x2 is equal to 40 meters, the area of the rectangle field, we know the area of the rectangle field is L into B, right? So we don't know x1 and x2 also. Let us assume x1 and x2 as 20, because by adding x1 plus x2 it is given that the value is 40, right? So x1 as a 20 and x2 as a 20. So 20 plus 20 we get 40, and the area formula is L into B, and L into B, length is 20 and breadth is also 20. If we multiply 20 to 20 we get 400. So the area does not exist more than 400, right? So for the question number 50, option A is correct. Next, 51. The sum of the ages of 5 members comprising a family. Okay, the sum of the ages of 5 members 3 years ago was 80 years. Okay, the sum of the ages of 5 members before 3 years it was 80. Okay, the average age of a family today is as same as it was 3 years ago. Now also it is same. Okay, because of the addition of the baby during the intervening period. So now newly baby is added, even though it is same. Now especially they are asking how old is the baby. Okay, so if baby includes, now the persons will be 6, right? So if we look now again, I will be explaining the question. The sum of the age of 5 members before 3 years was same. Okay, 3 years ago the sum of age of 5 members was same. Okay, and it was 80 years. Now this at present time also the average of the families also same, even though they had a baby now. Okay, now it is specifically asking how old is the baby, what is the age of the baby now. So if we look at the solution box, average formula, we know that sum of the totals by number of the totals. Okay, so 3 years ago family is equal to present family members now. So 3 years ago how many are there? So 3 years ago the average was 80, that is for 5 people. Okay, so 80 by 5 equal to, now 80 plus 5 into 3. Okay, that includes plus b by 6. Here 5 into 3 is Here 5 into 3 comes because the average members are 5, and before it to 3 years was 80, but now at present that also been increased, so we have to calculate this 5 persons age for 3 years. So actual age was 80, and for 3 years 5 into 3 plus b, now baby is also additionally added, and totally divided by 6 persons. So if we simplify this, 80 by 5 we get 16. Okay, and 80 plus 5 into 3 plus b by 6 we get 95 plus b by 6. Okay, here 80 and 5 into 3 15 plus b, 95 plus b by 6. So if we cross multiply, 16 into 6 is equal to 95 plus b. So finally if we calculate the b value we get 1. So now the baby's age is 1 year. Okay, so for the question number 51 the answer is B, 1 year. Next, coming to the question number 52. Total emoluments of 2 persons are at the same, but one get allowances to be the extent of 65% of his basic pay, and the other gets allowance of extent of 80% of his basic pay. Okay, so there are 2 persons, and one is getting the allowance of 65% and other one is getting the allowance of 80%. Okay, so actually their allowances is 100% extra they are getting extended. For one person it is extended for 65, another person it is extended for 80. So let us assume that these 2 persons as X and Y. Okay, and the ratio of the basic pay of the former to the basic of the latter is. So now if we simplify this, the basic, if you look at the solution box, the basic pay of X and Y is 100%, right? So for the X plus 65% and Y plus 100 plus 80%. So if we cross multiply we get X by Y is equal to 180 by 165, and if we simplify we get X by Y is equal to 36 by 33, and again if we simplify with the 11 table, and again if we simplify we get, and X by Y we get 180 by 165, and if we simplify we get 12 by 11. So therefore X by Y is equal to 12 by 11, that is 12 is to 11. So for the question number 52 the answer is D. Next, question number 53. A person is standing on a first step from the bottom of the ladder. Okay, there is a ladder. If you look at the picture, the person is standing on the first step. Okay, if he has climbed 4 more steps to reach exactly the middle step, so from he is already on the first step and he has climbed to 4 steps. After getting to the 4 steps he is exactly in the middle of the ladder. Okay, next, how many steps does the ladder have? So if the person is exactly on the middle now, so in the down he has 4 steps, that means on the up also it will be in the 4 steps because he is in the middle. So the middle step is 5 and a down 4, and on the above also will be 4 steps, so total 9 steps. So for the question number 53 the answer is 9, that is B. Okay, next, 54. Okay, this 54, 55, 56 questions are related to the passage. Okay, when 3 friends ABC met, it was found that each of them wore an outer garment of different colors in random order. The garments are jacket, sweater, and light and tie, and the colors are blue, white, black. Their surnames is random order and Ribrio, Kumar and Singh. Further we know that. So this is the basic details. So now here few steps were given. Neither B nor Ribrio wore a white sweater. So B and this Ribrio surname was not wearing the white sweater. Okay. C is wearing a tie. Singh's garment was not white. Kumar's does not wear a jacket. So according to these steps, I have prepared a table and I have given the information there. Okay. So here these 6 steps indicates that few clues that which person is wearing what and in which order they are. Okay. So Kumar does not wear a jacket. So if Kumar is not wearing a jacket, that is wear by other person. Okay. Next, Ribrio does not like to wear the black color. Each of the friends wore only one outer garment of only one color. So if you carefully read the steps and look at the table, you will be able to understand. I have prepared the table according to the steps. Okay. So I will be going with the questions. Now what is the C's surname? C's surname is A. Ribrio. Okay. Next, what is the color of the tie? Tie is blue color, right? Okay. So who wore a sweater? Sweater was worn by Kumar. Okay. So with these following steps, we can able to simplify the answers. Okay. Next, coming to the 57th question. AB is a vertical trunk of a huge tree with A beginning the point where the base of the trunk touches the ground. Okay, so if you look at the picture, A is the beginning point and to the straight it was a huge tree vertical trunk. Okay, it is a big tree, huge, which is lengthy. Okay. Next, due to the cyclone, the trunk has been broken at a C, which at the height of 12 centimeters. So if you look at the picture, due to cyclone, the upper part, what is still B, it was broken and it was fallen down. Okay, it was fallen down. So C is at the 12 centimeters, so 12 meters. So at that place, the tree has been broken. The broken part is partially attached to the vertical portion of the C, and if the end of the broken part B touches the ground at D, so this broken part B is touching the ground at D, okay, which is at the distance of 5 meters. So from A to D, that is a 5 meters. Then the original height of the trunk is, so now we have to find out the original height of the trunk. So that also we include with Pythagoras theorem only. The two sides are given and we have to find out the one side. This includes CD square is equal to AC square plus AD square. Now we have to find out the CD squares. Okay, here AC square value is given and AD square value is also given. So if you simplify, we get CD as a 13. Okay. Next, question number 58. A person walks 12 kilometers due north, then 15 kilometers due east. So if you look at the picture, question number 58, A is the starting point. Okay, from A to north he is walking 12 kilometers. Okay, A to N he is walking 12 kilometers. Then 15 kilometers due to east. From north to east he is walking 15 kilometers. Okay, after that 19 kilometers due west. From east to west he is walking 19 kilometers. Here already from north to east it is 15 kilometers. So from north to west it includes only 4 kilometers. So 15 plus 4, that is 19. So here after 90 kilometers due to the west, then 15 kilometers due to south. From west to south he is walking to the 15 kilometers. Okay, if you look at the picture you will be able to understand. From west to south he is walking 15 kilometers. So how far is he from the starting point? So after walking to the south for 15 kilometers, in order to reach the starting point A, how many kilometers he has to walk? So here if you look at the picture carefully, from A to N it is 12 kilometers. So from W to B, there we get a triangle, right? 90 degrees right angle triangle. So here from W to B, that is also 12 kilometers. So from B to S it is 3 kilometers, whereas this A and N are 12 kilometers and B and W are 12 kilometers same. So from W to S it is 15 kilometers. So from B to S it will be 3 kilometers. And in the same time, if you look at the picture, N to W it is 4 kilometers. In the same way, A to B also will be the 4 kilometers. So the right angle triangle is happening, right? So if you give a straight line from S to A, that is the shortest distance. Now right angle triangle AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So if we simplify these values, we get the AC as 25. Okay, 25 centimeter. Okay, next. So here AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. We know already AB square is 4 and BC square is 3, right? So AC square is equal to, we get 16 plus 9. 16 plus 9, that is 25. So AC square is equal to 25. So 25 can be written as 5 square. So therefore the distance is 5 kilometers. So for the question number 58, the answer is 5 kilometers. Next, coming to the question number 59. A cube has all its faces painted with different colors. Okay, if you look at the picture, there is a cube. So we know only that if the cube, by drawing this cube, we can only see the 3 sides. Okay, only we are able to look at the 3 sides of the cube, but the cube has 6 faces, 6 sides, right? So a cube has all its faces painted with different colors. So the cube which is having 6 faces has colored with different colors, 6 different colors. Okay, it is cut into smaller cubes of equal size such that the size of the small cube is 1/4 the big cube. So if you look at the picture, so if you look at the picture, this cube is cut into 1/4 of the size, right? The number of small cubes which only one of the side painted. So as we know that the cube has 6 faces and each 6 face have been cut into 1/4 of the small pieces. So these small pieces, if you look at the side of A, B, C, D, here there are many parts, right? So these all have been cut into 1/4. So the end boxes, which are being the end boxes will be merged with other side, right? So this side will be one color and the other side will be another color. So this ABCD part has border boxes, they will be colliding with other sides also, other side colors, two colors it will be there. In the same way, if you look at the DCEF side, in the same way the four side corner points, four side will be merged with other colors. Only the remaining 1 2 3 4 parts of the cube of all the sides will be same color, okay, will be same color, and other than above that boxes they will be merged with other colors. So here for each side four boxes will be as same colors only. So we know that cube has 6 faces. 6 into 4 we get 24. So 24 sides are 24 cubes are placed with the same color. So for the question number 59, option B is correct. Okay, next question number 60. Ram and Shyam work on a job together for 4 days and completed 60% of it. Okay, Ram and Shyam they worked together and completed the work, and they have worked for 4 days and completed 60% of work. And Ram takes leave then, and Shyam works for 8 more days to complete the job. So after completing 60%, Ram is taking leave and Shyam is working for 8 more days to complete the work. So how long would Ram take to complete the entire job alone? So if in case Ram is there, how many days he will be taking to complete the entire job alone? Okay, now if you look at the solution box, let us assume the total work is 100%. Okay, and Ram and Shyam they have worked 60% in 4 days, and Shyam itself, after taking Ram has taken leave, Shyam is working only for 8 days. He had worked for 8 days and completed 40% of work. Okay, only Shyam. Now if we calculate how much, if we calculate 40 by 8, which means 40% by 8, so this 40% was work is done in 8 days, right? So now we will calculate the work done by Shyam in 1 day. If we calculate with 40 by 80, we get to 5. So that 5% of work is done by Shyam in 1 day. Okay, so Shyam is able to work 5% of work in 1 day. So if Shyam is able to work for only 5% of work in 1 day, now we shall merge this 5% of work with both Ram and Shyam. Okay, so here Ram can be, and in the question it was given that Ram and Shyam have been working for 4 days to complete 60% of work, right? But for 1 day Shyam can only complete 5% of work. So now if we multiply this 5 fours are 20, 5% of Ram, that is for 4 days. So 5 fours are 20. 20% of work only can be done by Shyam for the first 4 days. So among that 60%, 20% of work is done by Shyam. The remaining 40 is done by Ram, obviously, from the first statement. So 40% of work can be done by Ram in 4 days, whereas only 20% of work only Shyam can do. And if we simplify 40 by 4, 40 by 4 we get 10, which means 10% of work can be done by Ram in 1 day. Okay, so if Ram is doing 10% of work in 1 day, how much he can do the work, total work. So entire 100% work in how many days he can do. So if we simplify with 100% of work by 10, okay, 10%, because Ram can work one day 10%, right? So if we simplify 100 by 10, we get 10. So Ram takes 10 days to complete the work. So with this we can understand Shyam can only work 5% in a day and Ram can work 10% a day, and within 10 days Ram can complete the work. So for the question number 60, the answer is C, that is 10 days. Next, coming to the question number 61. The military codes writes system as SysMet, nearer as AENRER. Using the same code, fraction can be written as. So if you look at the solution box, system SYSTM is written as SYSMET. So here divide the three letters of system, SYS and TEM. These first three letters, among the first three letters, the middle letter is placed same, and first and third letter is interchanged and written down. Next, coming to the second part of system, that is TEM. The T is interchanged, M is interchanged, and E is placed in the middle. Whereas coming to the nearer also, NEARER. So these 6 letters divide equally, we get three letters. So first three, A is replaced and N is replaced, E is in the middle. And second part, RER, this R is replaced and R is replaced, E is in the middle. And the same thing for fraction also, FRACTION. This fraction has 8 letters, so divide 4 letters. Okay, if we divide 4 letters, FRAC till there. So C is interchanged, F is interchanged, and A and R also interchanged. And coming to the second part, TION. So N is interchanged and T is interchanged, and OI also interchanged. So for this, the option will be CRAFNOIT, that is D. So for the question number 61, the option is D. Next, coming to the question number 62. If R and S are different integers, both divisible by 5, which are the following? So let us, there are two integers, that is R and S. So these two integers are not given, and that should be divisible by 5. So there are 4 options, that is which is not necessarily true. So let us take this R as 10 and S as 5. Okay, now for the first one, R minus S is divisible by 5. 10 minus 5 is divisible by 5. Yes, that is true. R plus S is divisible by 10. R plus S, that is R is 10, 5 is S is 5. 15 is divisible by 10. 15 is not divisible by 10, because 10 is divisible only if there is 0. Okay, last number should be 0. So this is not happening. So R into 5, R into S. So 10 into 5, we are getting 25. This 25 is divisible by 25. Okay, that is also true. And R square plus S square. R is 10. 10 square, 100 plus 5, 25. So this 125, if we add 100 plus 25, 125 is divisible by 5, that is also 5. So among these options, B is not necessarily true. R plus 5, R plus S is not divisible by 10. So for the question number 62, the option B is correct. Next, coming to the question number 63. How many numbers are there between 100 and 300 which either begin with or end with 2? Okay, there are the numbers should be from 100 to 300. We have to calculate the numbers that are beginning and ending with 2. So look at the solution box. Between 100 and 200. So between 100 and 200, now we will be calculating we will be finding out the numbers that are beginning with 2. So 100, 300, the 200, from starting from 200 to 299, these all numbers will be beginning with 2, right? 200, 201, 202, this starting 2 number, right? So 200 to 299, these are 100 numbers. So these entire 100 numbers are starting with the 2. Next, we shall calculate between 100 to 199. So 100 to 199, between 100 to 199, because till 200 we have calculated now, and from 100 to 199 we have to calculate the numbers ending with 2. So that is 102 and 112, 122 until 192. These are the numbers that are ending, and there are 10 numbers: 102, 112, 122, 132, 142, 152, etc., etc., to 192. So these are 10 numbers. So previous 100 numbers, now 10 numbers, that is 110. So totally 110 numbers are there between 100 to 300, that are starting with 2 and ending with 2. So 110, that is question number 63. The answer is A. Okay. Next,
to question number 64, that is related to the passage. Okay, as we look at a 2050, we will need to feed 2 billion more people. The question of which diet is the best has taken now new urgency. The foods we choose to eat in a coming decades will have dramatic ramifications from the planet. Simply put, a diet that revolves around meat and dairy, a way of getting that is on the rise throughout the developing world, will take a new greater toll on the world's resource than one that revolves around the unrefined grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. So this passage is related to the population growth, which is being increased by 2050. So okay, so if the population is above 2 billion people by 2050, it is saying that the food we eat will be more contaminated. Okay, the diet and the meat, way of getting meat, everything will be artificial and synthetic. Everything, all the harmful will be added, not that much food grains that are being grown in the fields. Okay, so at present now only we are eating most of the food that is uh, unhealthy. By 2050, the production, which means the agriculture and the production also will be have to be more, otherwise some artificial and some dramatic food that we have to use, that which is going to harm us. So this is the main thing about the passage. So here the question is asking, what is the critical message conveyed by the passage? Okay, our increasing demand for food source from animals put a greater burden on our natural resources. Diet based on grains, nut foods, and vegetables are best suited for health in developing countries. Human beings change their food habits from the time to time, irrespective of health concern. From a global perspective, we still do not know which type of the diet is best for us. So the critical message is option A. Our increased demanding for food source for animals put a greater burden on our natural resources. Okay, so this is the critical message that we can occupy from the passage. So for the question number 64, the option A is correct. Next, 65. All humans digest mother's milk as infants, but until cattle begin being domesticated 10,000 years ago, children once were weaned no longer needed to digest milk. As a result, they stopped making a enzyme lactase which break down the sugar lactose into simple sugar. So this passage is about the feeding of small children. In 10,000 years ago, people were feeding on milk, but they stopped it from 10,000 years ago, it seems. So now the mother's milk which is being fed, the small children used to get mother milk infant. By giving birth only, the infant milk gives the good health, but no longer the mother's milk infant that includes more healthy and sugar lactose. But now artificially they are creating a milk from other resources like cow milk. Okay, so this lactose sugar consistency they are being separating, and now this being feed to the present children. So this is the concept message from the passage. So you also give one reading and I'll be going with the question. Which among the following is the most logical assumption that can be made from the above passage? About 10,000 years ago, the domestication of animals took place in some parts of the world. A permanent change in the food habit of the community can bring about the genetic change in its members. Lactose tolerant people only are capable of getting simple sugar in their bodies. People who are not lactose tolerant cannot digest any dairy product. So most logical assumption is that in that we can go with the B. The permanent change in the food habits of the community can bring out a genetic change of members. Yes, right. So where the children has to feed with the good milk from the mother, but whereas now due to present time, by using all this artificial and some mixed lactose food, they are not getting that much healthy, and this food this will be helping the bring out the genetic change, and also not that much healthy for consuming this food. So this is the most logical assumption. So for the question number 65, option B is correct. Next, coming to the question number 66, that is also passage. The conceptual difficulties in national income comparisons between undeveloped and the industrialized countries are particularly serious because of the part of national output in various undeveloped countries is produced without passing through the commercial channels. So this is regarding the conceptual difficulties comparing the national income between the developed and undeveloped countries. So with this there will be a particularly some variations also will be occurred, and the commercial channels and import and export, that also will be affecting. Okay, by comparing these and this comparing the national income between the developed and undeveloped countries. So from this above statement, the author implies, the author what is saying, the entire national output produced and consumed in industries countries passes throughout the commercial channel. The existence of non-commercialized sector in different developed countries renders the national income comparisons over countries difficult. No part of the national output should be produced and consumed without passing through the commercial channel. A part of national output being produced and consumed without passing through commercial channel is a sign of underdevelopment. So with this we can go with the statement B. The existence of non-commercialized sector in different underdeveloped countries renders the national income comparisons or countries difficult. So non-commercialized sectors of underdeveloped countries, so this is the main reason that is being compared with the income of developed countries. So that is a place where these underdeveloped countries are facing problems, and that is a place where the developed countries are getting developed. So for the question number 66, the option B is correct. Next, coming to the question number 67, that is also regarding the passage. An increase in human made carbon dioxide in the atmosphere could initiate the chain reaction between plants and microorganisms that would unsettle one of the largest carbon reservoirs on the planet. So this passage is recording to the increase of human carbons in the atmosphere. So due to the population growth and also industrialization growth, all the things that are being harmful gas are let into the atmosphere, and it leads to the carbon dioxide formation. Okay, so this is largely affecting all the different kinds of vegetation and roots of microbial activity, everything under decomposition, and everything should be done in order to overcome. Okay, we should not harm our atmosphere. So by letting all these harmful gas into the atmosphere, it is also harmful for the greenhouse also. Okay, so this is the content of the passage, and I will be going with the question. Which among the following is the most logical corollary to the above passage? That is, carbon dioxide is essential for the survival of microorganisms and plants. Humans are solely responsible for the release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Microorganisms and soil carbons are mainly responsible for the increased plants growth. Increase in green cover could trigger the release of carbon trapped in soil. So increase of green cover, that is a most logical corollary. So for the question number 67, the option is D is correct. The increase of green cover, which is nothing but increasing of green cover, that is plantation, right? So the more plants are there, the more carbon dioxide they absorb, and that lead us to not get into the trap of all the harmful problems that are been occurring. So for the question number 67, option D is correct. Question number 68, that is also related to the passage. Historically, the biggest challenge to the world agriculture has been to achieve a balance between a demand and supply of food. At the level of individual countries, the demand-supply balance can be a critical policy issue for the closed economy, especially if the populous economy and the domestic agriculture is not growing sufficiently enough to ensure food supplies on the enduring basis. It is not so much and not always of the constraint for an open and growing economy which has adequate exchange surplus to buy food abroad. So this passage is completely about the challenges that world agriculture and is facing regarding the demand and supply of food. Okay, so here if the agriculture sector is not good, there might be a chance of getting hunger, starvation, and malnutrition. Everything also will be occurred, and if the agriculture sector is been not good, the food what we are getting from other states, other countries, and the food we are getting from here, that also can't be exported, and also that also lead to the globalization problem also, trade and commerce. Okay, these are the things that are been happening if we are not giving good importance to the agriculture sector. So this is the main theme of the passage. You also give one quick reading, and I will be go with the questions. According to the above passage, which of the following are the fundamental solutions for the world food security problems? Food security problems. What are they? Setting up more agro-based industries, improving the price affordably by the poor, regulating the conditions of marketing, providing food subsidies to one and all. So we can go with the options 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are correct for the problems. Fundamental solutions, okay, for the whole food security problems. 2 and 3. Improving the price affordability by the poor and regulating the conditions of marketing. So with these two steps, problems can be occurred, because price should be affordably, which the poor people able to buy. If the price is high, poor people cannot buy. And also regulation conditions of marketing. So whatever the food is there, that is being should be kept in the market, and everyone should able to get it for the reasonable price. So with this the trade and commerce increase, and also economic growth also will be helpful to increase. So for the question number 68, by improving these two steps 2 and 3, the problems can be solved. So for the question number 60, option B is correct. Next,
question number 69. According to the above passage, the biggest challenge in the world agriculture is to find sufficient land for agriculture and to expand food processing industries, to eradicate hunger in the undeveloped countries, to achieve a balance between the production of food and non-food items, to achieve a balance between the demand for and the supply of food. So the biggest challenge is B, to eradicate hunger in underdeveloped countries. For the question number 69, the option B is correct. Next, 70. According to the above passage, which of the following helps in reducing hunger and starvation in the developing economics? Which are they? Balancing demand and supply of food, increasing imports of food, increasing purchasing power of the poor, changing the food consumption patterns and practices. So with this we can go with the option C, 1 and 3, balancing demand and supply of food and increasing purchasing power of the poor. Okay, so with these two will be helping in reducing the hunger and starvation. So for the question number 70, the option C is correct. Next, 71. The issue of the worldwide supply of food has gained importance mainly because of overgrowth of the population worldwide, sharp decline in the area of the food production, limitations in the capabilities and a sustained supply of food. That is B, only 3. Okay, that is limitations in the capabilities of sustained supply of food. So this is the answer for the 71. So for the question number 71, the option B is correct. Okay, next, coming to the 72. 4-digit numbers are formed using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and none of these 4 digits are repeated in any manner further. Okay, there are 4-digit numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and there should be a numbers, it should not be repeated. Okay, same number should not be repeated. These are also given few instructions. and also 2 and 3 are not in immediately follows. 2 and 3 also should not be beside. Okay, next 1 is to be 1 is not to be immediately followed by 3. So 1 should not be after 3, but 1 3 can be. 1 should not be immediately followed by 3. So 3 1 should not be, but 1 3 can be. Okay, next 4 is not appeared in the last place. 4 should not be in the last, and 1 is not to appear in the first place, and also 1 should not be in the first place. So these are the 4 restrictions. In how many ways? In so with these instructions we have to find out the numbers, how many are there. So if you look at the solution box, first let us write the numbers which are not followed for 2 and 3. 2 and 3 should not be immediately followed, so we can write as 2 and 4 3, and also this includes 1 also should not be there in the first place, and 4 also should not be there. So first row, if we look, 2 4 1 3, 3 4 1 2, 4 2 1 3, 3 1 4 2, and 4 3 1 2. So these 5 numbers are the numbers which are able to write which 2 and 3 is immediately not followed, and 1 is not in the first place, and 4 is not in the last place. Next, second row, 1 is not to be immediately followed by 3. So here this second row is written with the according to the instructions of 1 is not to be followed immediately by 3. So if you look at 2 3 1 4 and 3 2 4 1, 3 4 2 1, 4 3 2 1. Okay, in this line 1 is not immediately followed by 3. Okay, so these are the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 numbers which we can be written according to the requirements. But in the question it is asked that 2 and 3 immediately should not follow. The first line 2 4 1 3 2 4 3 1 2 is based on the 2 and 3 restrictions, and second lines 2 3 4 1 and 4 3 2 1 is written on the basis of 1 should not be followed by the 3. But in the second line, if you look at the 2 3 4 1 and 3 2 4 1 and 4 3 2 1, which is last number, these three numbers except 3 4 2 1, these numbers are coming with the following of 2 3 4 1. Okay, with the following of 3 and 2, 3 and 2 beside they are. Okay, so in the second line 2 3 4 1, 3 2 4 1, 3 4 2 1 and 4 3 2 1, among these four numbers the first instruction should be applied, that is 2 and 3 should not be immediately followed. So if we include these three numbers, there is only 3 4 2 1 is the number which is fit for the above restrictions. So from among these 9 numbers we can only consider the 6 numbers which are from the first row 2 4 1 3, 3 4 1 2, 4 2 1 3 and 3 3 1 4 2, 4 3 1 2, and in the second row third number 3 4 2 1 is able to fit for the above restrictions, and the rest of the three numbers they are not required, which means 2 and 3 follows. Okay, so with this we can conclude as 6 possible ways the numbers is formed. So for the question number 72 the answer is 6, that is option A. Okay, next 73. A cylindrical overhead tank of radius 2 meters and height 7 meters is to be filled from an underground tank size 5.5 meters into 4 meters into 6 meters. Okay, so here there are two tanks, one is cylindrical tank and one is underground tank. So if three measurements are given, we can conclude it as cuboid. Okay, underground tank will be in the form of cuboid, so which will be having length, breadth and height. Okay, so in the rectangle only length and breadth will be having, but in the cuboid will be having length, breadth and height also will be having, because it is an underground tank. Three values are given. And here if you look at the picture, there is also cylindrical tank. Okay, cylindrical tank, that is radius 2 meters and the height is 7 meters. Okay, so here from that underground tank water to, we have to fill that water into the cylindrical tank. So here there is a constant formula for the cuboid. If three values are given, length, breadth and height, and for the cylinder tank the volume is equal to pi r square, that is a fixed formula. Okay, for pi means we know the value 22/7. Here in the cylinder can the value is given, radius is 2 meters and height is 7 meters. 22/7 into 2 square into 7. And here coming to the cuboid, length and breadth, height is given, that is 5.5 into 4 into 6. Okay, so I hope you are clear till now. Now how much portion of the underground tank is still filled with the water filling the overhead tank? So here the underground water tank is having amount of water, and that is to be filled in the cylindrical tank. Okay, now we shall calculate these values. So if we calculate the cylindrical tank value, 22/7 into 2 square into 7, we get if we simplify, 7 will be cancelled, and 22 into 4 we get 88 meters cube. Okay, the volume of cylindrical tank is 88 meters. Now cuboid, the rectangular tank, that is 5.5 into 4 into 6. So if we simplify, we get 22 into 6. This 5.5 can be written as 11/2 into 4 into 6, and we simplify, we get 22 into 6. 22 into 6, that is 132. So and the volume of cuboid is 132. Since this 132 meter cube volume of water should be filled in the 88 meter cube volume of cylindrical tank. Okay, so here 132 minus 88, that is 44. So 44 meter cube water is left in the cylindrical tank. Okay, now divide this 44 meter cube water by entire water 132, that is, so tank filled is, so tank left with is 44 and the total volume is 132. Okay, so if you simplify this, we get 1/3. So finally 1/3 portion of water is left in the cylindrical tank, cuboid tank, which is in the underground tank, after filling the water into the 88 meters of cylindrical tank. Okay, so for the question number 73, the answer is 1/3. Okay, next, coming to the 74th question. In a class of 60 students, where the number of girls is twice the number of boys. Okay, total strength of the students is 60, but the girls is twice the number of boys. So let us assume that girls are twice the number of boys. G is equal to 2b plus b. Okay, so if we assume, we get if we entirely, we get out of 60, 2b means 40 will be girls and rest of the things will 20 will be boys. Okay, so among the 60, if we divide two parts equally, that is 40, and one part, that is 20. So with this we can understand girls are 40 and boys are 20. Okay, next, Kamal, a boy, ranked 17th from the top. Okay, Kamal, So among the 20 boys, Kamal is ranking a 17th person. Okay, if there are 9 girls ahead of Kamal, so here there are 20 boys, and out of that Kamal is ranking a 7. So it means that the boys and girls order is not in the correct form, so they are merged. So only total is given 20 boys and 40 girls, but they are not separately there, they are mixed up. So in that mixed up, the Kamal is standing as a 17th person. So in front of 17th person of Kamal there are 9 girls. So if you minus 17 minus 9, okay, 17 minus 9 we get 8. So 8. So among all the strength, now Kamal is standing as 8th position. Okay, 8th place. So if the Kamal is 8th person, and the question is asked that the number of boys rank after him. Okay, if Kamal is standing as a 8th position, after simplifying 17 minus 9 we get 8th, because the boys and girls are mixed up. Okay, 17 minus 9 we get 8, and the number of boys ranked after him is, so number of boys is 20. So 20 minus 8 we get 12. So again there are 12 boys after, so the number of boys rank after him is 12. Okay, so 20 minus 8 we get 12. So the number of boys rank after him is 12. So here the option is B. So for the question number 74, the option B is correct. Next, 75. A and B walks around a circular park. They start at 8 a.m. from the same point in the opposite direction. A and B walk at the speed of 2 rounds per hour and 3 rounds per hour respectively. How many times they shall cross each other after 8 a.m. and before 9:30 a.m. So here if you look at the solution box, there is a circular park. A and B are starting at the same point in the opposite direction. A is walking 2 rounds per hour and B is walking 3 rounds per hour. So in the question it is asked that how many times they shall cross each other after 8. So obviously here A plus B is equal to 5. A is walking 2 rounds and B is walking 3 rounds. So 5 times they will be crossing each other commonly, okay, after 8. Okay, so 5 times they will be crossing each other. As per the question it is giving that A is walking 2 rounds per hour and 3 is walking, B is walking 3 rounds per hour. So per hour they are walking, which means from 8 to 9, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock they are meeting for crossing 5 times. But here the question it is asked that how many times they shall cross each other after 8 and before 9:30. So for 8 to 9 they are crossing 5 times. Here again extra half an hour is there. So if we simplify this, 5 into 30 by 60, 60 is 1 hour, 30 is half an hour. So 5 into 30 by 60, we have to calculate only for half an hour. So we get 2.5. okay, in half an hour they are crossing approximately 2 times, 2.5 times. 2.5 means that we can consider as 2 only. So in half an hour 2.5, so that half is not considered. So for the 1 hour they are crossing 5 times, and half an hour 2.5 times, which means approximately 2 times. So that 5 plus 2 we get 7. So for the question number 75, the option is A, 7. Next, 76. W can do 25% of work in 30 days. X can do 1 by 4th of work in 10 days. Y can do 40% of work in 40 days. And Z can do 1 by 3rd of work in 13 days. Who completes the work first? Okay, who completes the work first? So if you look at the solution box, W is working 25% of work for 30 days. So obviously 25% means, so let us term it as 100%. So 25 into 4 we get 100. Okay, so 100 and same multiply with 4 at that 30 also. 25 into 4 we are getting 100%, and 30 into 4 we get 120. So W is working 100% of work, he is taking 120 days. Okay, so in order to complete 100% of work, W need 120 days. Okay, next, X is working 1 by 4th for 10 days, and now make it as same 100%. So 1 by 4 into, if you multiply with 4 we get 1. So same thing here, 1 by 4th work is for 10 days, and that I also same 10 into 4, because we have to change it as 100% of work, right? So 1 by 4 into 4 we get 1, that is 100%, and here 10 into 4 we get 40. So in order to complete 100% of work, X is taking 40 days. Okay, next, Y, 40% of work is done in 40 days. So if we add 60% to that, that is 100%, and the same thing for 60%, here 100% and there 100. So 100, in order to complete 100% of work, Y needs 100 days. So Y is able to complete only 1% of work in each day. So for 100% of work, Y needs 100 days. Next, coming to Z, Z can work 1 by 3 of work in 13 days. So here if we multiply with 3 we get 1, and here 13 into 3 we get 39. So 1%, which means 100% of work is done by Z in 39 days, whereas X the above is working for 40 days, here Z is able to work for 39 days. So one day before only Z is able to complete the work. Okay, so in the question it is asked that who will complete the work first. So with from all these XYZ explanations we can conclude that since Z is 39 days working, Z will be the first person. So here Z, for the question number 76, the option is D, Z. Okay, next, 77. The average monthly income of a person in certain family of 5 is rupees 10,000. What will be the average monthly income of a person in the same family of income of one person increased by 1,20,000 per year? So here in the question, the average monthly income of a person in a certain family of 5 members is 10,000. So a family containing 5 members, their average income is, for each person it is 10,000. Okay, for each person the average income is, for each 5 persons, that is 10,000. Okay, so if we multiply 5 into 10,000 we get 50,000. So this is the average income of family which is 5 members. Okay, what will be the average monthly income of a person in the same family if the income of one person is increased by 1,20,000? So here the average monthly income of a person in the same family of income is one person is increased by 1,20,000 per year. So here the average income of increased to 1,20,000. So divide this 1,20,000 by 12 because it is increased. Average income will be calculating per year, right? So 1,20,000 divided by 12, we get 10,000. Okay, if you look at the solution box, we get a 10,000. So this 10,000 is increased for the family. Okay, before totally it is 50,000 and now annually it is increased 10,000. Okay, so that 50,000 plus this 10,000, we get 60,000. So now we have to find out the average monthly income of a person. So monthly income of a person, so we know average is equal to sum of the totals by a number of the totals, that is 60,000 by 5 members. If we simplify, we get 12,000. So the average monthly income of a person is 12,000. That is for the question number 77, option A is correct. Okay, here simply it is given that 5 persons income, average monthly income, it is separately given. We have multiplied it, and next it is increased. It is saying that it is increased to 1,20,000 per person. So now we have to find out how much, okay, per month it is increased. Okay, if we divide with 1,20,000 divided by 12, we can get per monthly how much it is increased. So the previous average income and the increased average income, if we add, we get 60,000. And if that 60,000 is divided by 5 persons, we can able to get the average monthly income of a person. So for the question number 77, the option is 12 is correct. Next, in a race, a competitor has to collect 6 apples which are kept in a straight line on a track, and a bucket is placed at the beginning of the track, which is starting point. Okay, so there is a race. A person has to collect 6 apples which are kept in the straight line on a track, and starting line there is a bucket placed. Okay, if you look at the box, you can able to understand. So the conditions is that the competitor can pick only one apple at a time and run back with it and drop it in the bucket. Okay, so each time the person has to go and pick one apple and come back and drop in the bucket. If he has to drop all the apples in the bucket, how much total distance he has to run if the bucket is 5 meters from the first apple and all the apples are placed at 3 meters. So here at the starting point, bucket is there, and from bucket the first apple is at 5 meters and the remaining, so totally 6 apples. So first apple is at 5 meters distance, and remaining 5 apples are each apple having 3 meters distance. Okay, now we have to calculate how much the competitor is running, how many meters he is running to complete the race. So if you look at the solution box, there is a bucket. First apple is 5 meters. So first apple is 5 meters. So in order to bring out the first apple, first you have to run for 5 meters and again come back for the 5 meters and should drop the ball. So for the first apple is running for 10 meters. Next apple is for 3 meters. So for that again he has to travel that 10 meters, and then from that first point to next apple is 3 meters. So going from first apple to second apple he had to travel 3 meters, and again coming back he had to travel that 3 meters, and then he has to travel that 10 meters and go to the bucket and place the apple. So for the second apple he has to travel 16 meters. So the next following apples will be at the distance of 3 each. So from 16 going 3 meters and coming back 3 meters should be added. So 16 plus 6 we get 22, and the same thing follows for 22. 22 plus 6 we get 28, and same thing follows for fourth apple. 28 plus 6 34, and 34 will be followed for the last apple also, totally 40 meters. So now the question is asked that how many meters he has been running to complete the race. So add all these values, 10 plus 16 plus 22 plus 28 plus 34 plus 40, we get 150. Okay, so for the question number 78 the option is D. Next, question number 79. A round archery target of diameter 1 meter is marked with 4 scourging regions from the center towards as red, blue, yellow and white. So I hope you are knowing this game, right? Archery. A person has to shoot its arrows to the board. Okay, so that board consists of different colors starting with red, blue, yellow and white. So here the diameters from the middle point to the end circle, the diameter is 1 meters. Okay, and there are 4 regions that are placed red, blue, yellow and white. Okay, the radius of red band is 0.2 meters. So only here the radius of red is 0.20 meters. Okay, the width of all remaining bands is equal. If the archer throws arrow towards the target, what is the probability of the arrows fall in the red region of the archery target? So here we have to find out the probability approximately in which place if the arrow is being left where it stands. So here first we have to find out the area of the circle, the red circle. So area of the circle, that is a constant formula, that is pi r square. Pi means 22/7 and r square it is given at 0.20 square, right? And the radius of archy bands, so if you that is also a constant formula. Radius of archy bands will be 0.5 meters. Okay, so here the archy includes this width of white, yellow, blue, rest of the colors. So here 2 values are we got. So we have to find out the probability where the arrow can be come and stick it. Okay, the area of a circle is pi r square and the radius of arch is 0.5. These are the constant. Radius of arch band is 0.5 meters, that is a constant value. Okay, so if we simplify the area of the complete circle by pi r square by this pi radius of this arch band, pi into 0.2 whole square by pi into 0.5 whole square. So if we simplify, pi will be cancelled and 0.2 whole square by 0.5 whole square, we get 0.04 by 0.25. So if we simplify this if we can term it as 4 by 100 and 100 by 120, 100 by 25, that we can do the cross multiplication. Since the points are in decimal values, we can write 0.04 can be written as 4 by 100 and 0.25 can be written as if we cross multiply 100 by 25. So if we simplify, we get 0.16. okay, 0.16. So for the question number 79, the option is C. Next, coming to the question number 80. A person allows a 10% of discount for a cash payment from the market price of a toy, and still he makes 10% profit again. So there is a toy, and a person, if it's selling for market price, he is giving discount 10%, which means loss. Okay, again after selling it for the cost price, he is making 10% gain for the same profit. So now we have to find the cost price of a toy. So if you look into the solution box, in the question it is given the market price is 770. So if the person is selling it for 770, he is getting 10% loss. Even though after getting 10% loss, now after selling it for the remaining price, okay, cost price, again he is making 10% profit for the same toy. So now we have to find what is the cost price. So if you look at the solution box, market price is 770. In that 770 is making 10% loss. So what is the 10% of 770? That is 77. Okay, so 77 will be the 10% of 770. So this comes if we divide 770 by 10, okay, 10%, right? 770 by 10, we get 77. So 77 is the 10% of 770. So now minus this 77 in 770, we get 693. So 10% we have cancelled from the market price. So now the actual price is 693. Okay, even though the person is if you minus this 77 from 770, we get a 693. That is the price of the toy which is been selling, and that is not the cost price. So if he is selling for 693, he is getting again 10% profit. So now we have to calculate that a 10% profit. So if we calculate 693, so here this step is a mistake, please ignore it. Here should come as 693 minus x is equal to 10 by 100 into x, because 693 is the remaining price. Now we are calculating the 10% discount. So 693 minus x should come there. Okay, 693 minus x is equal to 10 by 100 into x. Okay, 10 by 100 into x. So if we cross multiply, if we cut this 10 by 100, we get 0.1. 10 by 100, 0 0 will be cancelled and 0.1 will be there. So 693 minus x is equal to
0.1 into x. Okay, and please ignore the following step. X is equal to 693 by 100 by 10, that should not come. So that was a mistake. So here 693 minus x is equal to 0.1 into x. Okay, and if we simplify this, we get x is equal to 630. So 693 minus x is equal to 0.1 into x. If we simplify this, we get x is equal to 630. So the actual cost is 630. So now the actual cost price is 630, but the person is selling it for 693. So from there he is making 10% profit. So this can be done in other method also. Here the market price is 770 and we have separated the 10% price, that is 693. So again if we separate 10% in 693, so other method 693, the 10% is 69.3. okay, 10% of 693, that is 69.3. okay, if we subtract this 693 minus 69.3, we get 632.7. okay, so that value is somewhat close related to 630. In that way also we can conclude it. Okay, so for the question number 80, the answer is C, 630. Next. Oh, thank you for watching.